Okay. Hello, everyone. I hope everyone's like alert and awake. We're going to do a short talk about how to create awesome products, or what is formally known as the business of product management. To start with, a little bit about me. I'm Dalan Mendonca. I did my electrical engineering for my undergrad from Pitts Pilani. In my undergrad, I explored a variety of things. Unlike most people who go to engineering college and say, oh no, engineering is not for me. My experience was the exact opposite. I went to college and found that I loved, coding, firmware, all those tech-related stuff. I explored web development, writing firmware, did image processing. Apart from that, just to balance things out, I just like learned the basics of design and studying business models. Tried a variety of things. Uh, so this was like a very all-round development where I could myself create a proper website, design posters, make money out of it. That was a very good foundation for going forward. Post that, my first real job was a data analyst at Facebook. Here, one of the a little bit background here, which will help you understand the product management story further, is my one big project. That here I was a data analyst on the spam team. The thing I did here was just removing all sorts of bad activities, people hacking accounts, people trying to take over other accounts, putting viruses in. You must have seen those. We'll tell you who visited your profile kind of apps, killing those kind of bad apps. So that was my full-time job, and my job was like doing data analysis, writing machine learning models to fight it. So one interesting example story from there is one project that I worked on is something called removing bad likes from Facebook. So without going into too much detail, a bad like is when someone says, suppose my Facebook account is compromised. Like my friend knows my password and he goes and likes a bunch of random pages. So a lot of businesses pay to get this done. They want that their pages get a lot of likes. I was working on finding out, writing algorithms that detect, when a like is bad and automatically removing it. Here I learned a very important lesson. So after I had done my analysis, written my algorithm, built my model, etc., to make my project successful, I had to go and work with a lot of different people. I had to go and work with Facebook's legal team to go and change our policy around likes. I had to go and the security team. We actually sent legal notices to many people who were making bad software, who were tricking people into liking random pages. I got to work with security researchers, designers, of course, engineers. Even after I had done my own work, I had to work with engineers, designers, lawyers, all of these people to make my project successful, to make it go out. And that is a big experience where it takes more than one person to make a big project successful. So that was an early introduction to what it takes to to make a big project, about a basic insight into product management. Post that, I was at Paytm as a associate product manager for a short while, and things didn't work out that well. So I went to Instamojo as a product manager, where I'm working currently. Instamojo is a startup in the payments and e-commerce space. If you want to sell something online, collect payments via the internet without doing any FT, you should come to Instamojo. Okay, so that's a little bit about me. Now I'll go straight to what we are here for, which is, what is product management, starting with what is a product manager. Now it's very simple or to understand what a product manager does. A product manager is to a product what a CEO is to the company. The CEO of a company does, suppose you take a company like Starbucks. The CEO of the company is not coming and making the coffee. He's not designing the Starbucks, not designing the shop. He's not picking the location. He's not working on the supply chain. But he's responsible for the company. He is held accountable when bad coffee is served. Similarly, a PM or the PM team in a company is responsible for every aspect of the product. You take it from the bounce of the animation of the app to speed up the customer service. The PM is responsible for everything and owns everything. But the critical difference is that the product manager does not do all of this work by himself. He ensures that the designer has the best tools and things to create a wonderful, beautiful looking website. He ensures that the people working in support have the best tools. They aren't overloaded with work. They can respond to support requests on time. A very critical thing. So this is what is known as responsibility without authority, where I am not the boss of the support team. There'll be a big support team. They'll have their own manager. It will be a separate engineering team. They'll have their own bosses. I'm the person ensuring that everyone is working together towards one direction. And that's one thing. So product managers bring direction and clarity to the team. Everyone should know what they're working on, why it contributes to the product, and why it is important. So I can tell you one story here, which helps understand this. Uh, so this is a story about how a senior engineer at NASA was once just climbing up the building over there. So she goes up to the first floor and she sees a sweeper. She asks him, "What are you doing?" She said, I'm just doing my job." She says, "Okay." She goes to the second floor. She asks that guy, "Hey," she finds another sweeper there sweeping. She asks him, "What are you doing?" She says, I'm making NASA clean so that people can work better." She says, "Okay." Finally, she goes to the third floor. She finds another sweeper there. She asks him, "Hey, what are you doing?" He says, "Oh, I'm sending people into space." So that's what NASA is about, and that's the sweeper, clearly understood that when he makes NASA's floors clean, people can work better, and that helps them put people into space. So every person working on a product should have that level of understanding and clarity about what we're doing. They should not be restricted to just their small silos. They should be talking together, having a fun time. And of course, you have to ensure that they are building the right product and on time. So that is in brief about what is a product manager. The next thing. So these some questions you would have definitely. What are the skills I need to be a product manager? Of course, there is product management is just like this weird job between which is called individual contributor, like an engineer, designer. These sort of professions work individually, and you are both an individual contributor and a manager. So as an individual contributor, you're one of the hard skills. All the hard skills you need are simple. First to begin with is analysis and research. You cannot say that you cannot just say wake up in the morning and say we should build this feature. You have to have a proper analysis. You have to do research. You have to have very strong reasons why you should build it. You should understand the nature of the competition, how much money you have, how much can you spend on marketing, how much can you spend on building it, how many engineers will it take you to hire this. All of those questions need solid answers. You can't just get up in the morning and decide I want to build something. You have to also calculate the ROI. If we build something, how much will we earn? How big can it be? How big is the market? All these questions need to be answered even before anyone starts working on anything, or even any engineer puts anything to code. The second hard skill that you need is something called writing spec documents. So spec documents are one of the crucial outputs of product managers. They describe in detail what the product will do. So I'm building a feature, how fast it's going to launch, how much time do we expect to take, who's going to work on it, how difficult it's going to be, what engineering components do we have to change. All of it is mentioned in the spec document. Next is wireframing. It's not very easy to convince people with words. It's much easier to convince people with pictures. So if I want to talk about a new feature I want to build, it's instead of just suppose if I describe Instagram as an app where there are images and you can give comments and you can like things, it's very boring. But if I show you a prototype, or if I show you a mock-up where you can see the photo, the name, your friends, all of that, you will instantly click and you'll understand, okay, this is what we want to do. So wireframing or making visuals of your ideas is a very important skill. Another thing, project management. Of course, after you've done the research, after you've picked the right thing, after everyone is convinced about what they want to build, it's very important that things get done on time, things get done well. That you take a big project and break it into small milestones. So this is essentially project management, and this is a critical skill which every product manager needs to have. Finally, you cannot be a product manager in the software business without knowing the basics of design and without knowing the basics of software development. Why? Because today, you cannot. Today, if you're building an e-commerce website, it cannot be worse than Flipkart. Flipkart is a minimum standard you need to have. So Facebook has already set the standard of how social networks should look like. There are certain things expected. So you have to understand, what makes these websites successful, and you have to ensure that the basic elements are also present in your website. Otherwise, users or customers will just go away. They will say this website is weird, it doesn't fulfill my needs, or it looks bad, and they might give it up. Another thing is to turn your ideas into a reality. You need to work, of course, with software engineers, and you cannot work with them if you don't understand what they do. So the basics of software development, what is agile, what is Git, what are repositories, how do we deploy, what is code management, what is reversion control. Some things, it's definitely good to know what are the basics of software development. Moving on to soft skills. Now, these are equally important, if not more important, to your hard skills, and these are also critical to your success, because you serve as both the person who decides what to build and ensures things get built. Without a doubt, there is while you're on your journey of building things, there's going to be confusion. People are going to build the wrong things. People are going to veer off in different directions. So one first important skill is communication. People keeping everyone on the same page, keeping everyone motivated, ensuring that everyone has the same understanding of what you're going to build. That is critical, mission critical skill to have. Another thing that you need to have is conflict resolution. Every few days I'll encounter a problem where the designer wants to do this, but the engineer doesn't want to do this. The CEO wants to do something else. Everyone is everyone is building their own dream. It is your job to ensure that the conflict is resolved, that you find a great decision and you move forward. You don't the bus doesn't get stuck because you cannot decide. Uh, Related to that is rapid decision making. Sometimes, of course, you don't even have enough time to go and do all the research in the world, find out everything, run a survey, ask people. Sometimes you just have to do decisions by gut. So you need to be able to either think on your feet really fast, or use your intuition properly to make decisions very quickly. And of course, a natural skill every PM needs to have is he has to lead the product team. So he has to lead the team of engineers or the design team, the support staff, all of them. So he has to be a leader of all of these guys. So leadership is also a critical skill here. So this is the story of my life. I think what people think I do is just write blog posts and launch products. I think, of course, I also think that I do great things like Elon Musk, and I'm changing the world. What I really do is go around shouting at people and asking them why they're not doing their work, asking them why they're doing something stupid or wasting time, and ensuring that the right product gets built. So this is just a funny meme here. So on a day-to-day basis, now you'll be wondering what do I actually do? So there are some very obvious things like prioritizing things. So uh, you have an existing product and people are going to come to you with say 50 requests, any product, be it WhatsApp. WhatsApp can put a wallet into WhatsApp. WhatsApp can do video calls. WhatsApp can do disappearing photos like Snapchat. There are hundreds of things WhatsApp can do, but some things are important, some things are not important. Who prioritizes this? This is the job of the product manager. This is the obvious input that you bring to the team and the company, where you decide, or very smartly decide that this is critical, this is not critical, and this is to be done, this is not to be done. Second thing, of course, is once you've decided what is to be done, do it. So that is the art of managing projects. Since you won't be doing it alone, you have to manage the project. You have to ensure that the engineers build something on time, that if we promise 15 days for it, it has to be done in 15 days, that we do it right, that the quality is correct, that we don't release something bad to the company. Another obvious thing would be leading the team. Again, you have to keep your people motivated. You have to keep giving them the right direction, showing them the bigger picture. Another thing which product managers do is what I call designing human systems. Every great company or every great team, they have a process. Like you can see how the football team, Manchester United is a football team. They have their own style of playing. They do long passes. A different team like Arsenal will hold it for a long time. So great teams have their own style of playing and own style of doing their work. So you have to ensure that your also learns a style of time. They have fun doing it. So that is what I call designing a human system. Not so obvious things which are part of a product manager's job is saying no. A very important job here is saying no. So as I mentioned earlier, if you are the product manager of WhatsApp, people are going to say, hey, why don't you do video calls? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do stickers? Why don't you, do something like Snapchat? Why don't you do feed like Facebook? It's important to say no, because if you say yes to everything, you become a useless product. It's very, very important to just pick a few things and get them right, rather than trying to do hundreds of things and nothing becoming good. WhatsApp is a very good example. They don't do too much, but they're very good at messaging. Their messages go on time. They're very reliable, very efficient. Wonderful. They've picked their battles. They have said no to hundreds of features, because the few features they've picked, they're doing it excellently. Not so thing you have to do is tricking and thinking. predicting software projects is an art and a science, and mostly an art. No one gets it right. Sometimes for a deadline, you want to miss it. You have to, try to convince your engineers, so literally sometimes beg of them, hey, please, can you do this? We need to get done. This is important. Convincing people to work a bit harder. That is something that tricking them, seducing them, whatever it takes. Basic skill being that, do whatever it takes to, to get shit done. That is the broad idea here. Another not so obvious thing that you'll have to do is filling in gaps and doing leftover work. So in my company itself, we provide payments APIs. So people can integrate our API on the website and we can start collecting payments. So just so happens that my engineer built the API, but he forgot to document it, and his English also is not that great. So it was up to me to sit, understand from him what every API does, what every endpoint does, find out what are the parameters, make some nice, beautiful documentation which the customers can understand, get the documentation reviewed, and finally put it on the website. Did I know how to write documentation? No. Did I write the documentation? Yes. Can I do such thing in the future? Yes. So this is the art of doing whatever it takes. There's a lot of gaps, there are a lot of leftover work, and you have to do it to make your product successful. Because how can an API not be successful without great documentation? But unfortunately, we didn't have an engineer who could write the document. I did it. That's something you have to learn. So now this is about a general thing of whom is product management for. So if I was extremely, the product management is a generalist profession. You are not going deep into you're not going deep into engineering, you're not going deep into sales, you're not going deep into marketing, you're not going deep into design. You're a generalist who's in the middle of all of this. So if you suppose you become an engineer, you learn coding and you fall in love with it, then probably product management is not for you. But if you you like product management, like engineering a bit, but you like design also, and you're like a generalist person, then product management is perfect. I had the same thing in my college days. I did a lot of software projects. I learned Photoshop, did design, etc. I learned a lot of things, but I never felt like I wanted to go deep into any of those things. But today I feel wonderful because all those skills come together, and I can create great products. So as Ken Norton, one of a very famous product manager from Google, says, product management is a weird discipline full of oddballs and rejects that never quite fit in anywhere else. Because if you fit into engineering or sales or marketing and all, you already found what you're good at. If not, you should probably try product management. And one more important thing. This is again emphasizing working with a team versus working alone. So if I wanted to build something really fast, I would just quickly pull up a terminal, code up something, write a server, and I would just do it on my own. But since I want to go far, I want to build a big product that has lots of lives, that is complicated to build. I have to build a team around it. So if you want to go far, go together. If you want to go alone, go fast, go alone. So if you want to go far and together, you have to be a product manager. If you want to go fast and alone, you can be either of any of the individual contributors, like an engineer or a designer, any of them. So that is another aspect why I chose this, because I wanted to focus on the bigger picture of building the product rather than getting caught in any of the intermediate aspects. A definite question that will come up is like, what are the career prospects of product managers? Well, as it shows here, quite obviously, they're quite fabulous. Product managers are generally like the highest paid, people in tech companies. And on the flip side, there are very few product managers roles. Like there'll be a typical team will have say 7 to 10 engineers, 2 designers, and only 1 product manager. And you can keep multiplying the same ratio. That's a rough ratio, like 10 engineers, 2 designers, 1 product manager. So you get paid more, you have more responsibility, but you also have of course you have more responsibility too. Apart from the sheer monetary aspects of it, the PM role is a wonderful training ground if you want to ever become an entrepreneur, you ever want to be a CEO, or you want to lead a team. There are great examples all around. The creator of Stack Overflow, Joel Spolsky, was first a product manager at Microsoft. The creator of Instagram, Kevin Systrom, was first an APM at Google. Sundar Pichai, the current Google CEO, was first a product manager at Google. And there are many more examples like this. So because the job and the role is kind of identical, like leading a team, responsibility without authority, motivating people. So like the overlap between being a CEO or being a founder and being a product manager is extremely high. And if you could become good at product management, it's very easy to translate into a CEO role or a entrepreneur role in the future. So yeah, that's about career prospects. Of course, so as obvious, I love the job. It's well paying. It has great prospects too. And that's about it from my side. I'd like to hear questions from you guys.
All right, sir. After an insightful session, we have the forum open for question and answers. I request all the colleges, students, if you have any question, you can come near the screen. GIBS college, any question? I'll put your college on unmute mode. MIT college, any question? You can also use the chat box. I'm just putting something now. You can put the questions on the chat box as well. Can I have professor from GIBS college to ask questions to Dalan sir?
Okay, so a question I got from chat is, can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. What are the basic qualifications required to be a product manager? If I tell you the truth, like there are actually no qualifications, but typically it is super helpful if you've taken a project from start to end. Suppose if you worked whatever project be it, whether you're trying to improve the quality of support, whether you're trying to improve spam models or anything else. One is you've taken a project from start to end. You started it, finished it, launched it. It has completed its full life cycle. And the other thing qualification you need to have is you work with a diverse set of stakeholders. It's very easy to work with 2-3 kinds of just software engineers or something and like realize you're doing good. But thing is, making products in the real world, you probably have to deal with a lawyer, an accountant, a marketer, a sales guy, and someone who does Google, a designer, an engineer, of course. So these are the basic qualifications are that you should have had experience taking something from start to finish. And that's kind of a circular explanation, but the simplest way to get experience is to do a side project and work with a couple of people. So yeah, people think that an MBA is like a requirement to be a product manager, or you should have a CS background to work as a product manager in a tech company. That is complete rubbish. There is nothing like that. I don't have an MBA. I know many product managers who don't come from CS backgrounds. That is a complete myth. Okay. We have another question from PR Darshini College. What are the pros and cons of working at a startup as a product manager versus working at a large company? Fantastic question. Okay, I'll tell you what are the pros of working at a startup. When you're working at a startup, you are your own boss. There is no hierarchy. There is nothing. You come whenever you want, do whatever you want, and you run the show. But the problem is startups are generally tend to be smaller. Like Instamojo is my company. Paytm, people have heard about it. Facebook, billions of people have heard about it. Paytm, millions of people have heard about it. No one has heard of Instamojo, and we want to ensure that people hear about it, but no one knows about Instamojo yet. So when you're working at a small startup, your user base is really tiny. You're not changing that many lives, but you have a lot of freedom. You can experiment very fast. You can change direction really fast. So there are no that many rules. You can try really fast. So you have a lot of freedom, but you have very little responsibility because your user base is very small. On the flip side, when you work at a big company, say suppose you are at Facebook or you're at Google, one change in the Google search algorithm can literally destroy advertising, can change people's blogging careers, whatever. So you have a lot of responsibility, and you get very small parts of the product. Like literally in Amazon, there is a product manager to manage address book. There is a product manager to manage seller pages. There is a person to manage the buy payment flow. So in my company, I handle all of this by myself. Versus in Google, someone is handling just the payment part all alone. Because why? Because the job is complicated. He's handling payments across 20 different countries, hundreds of different currencies, millions of users, billions of users, millions of transactions. The job is really complicated. So at a big company, you get a very, very small part of the product, but you have to go really deep. Versus at a startup, you will be handling a wide set of functions. So I definitely say if you're early in your career, it is good to work in a startup. Later on in your career, you can consider whether you want to move to a bigger company and go deep in a particular area. Suppose I was really interested in payments. I would love to join the payment Google Wallet team or something like that. So those are the pros and cons. Okay, interesting. What is A/B testing? A/B testing is simple. You change only one variable about something, about a product, and you see what is the effect it gives. Suppose I have my own website. I say I go and my website says Dalan Mendonca, product manager, and it says contact, and there's a button under that, contact me. Okay, so I want to find out how can I get more people to contact me. So instead of, I will try to change. I will do a small A/B test. So I suppose 1,000 people a day come to my website, and I'll show 500 of them the word product manager. The other 500 of them, I will show them the word product guru, and I'll see, okay, these 500 people, 30% of them go on to contact me. These other people who are shown the word product guru, 50% of them go to contact me. So that is the essence of an A/B test. You change a single variable and you see whether it affects a particular outcome. Let me know if I've answered the question properly or not. I don't get audio feedback from here, so please just type it out on the chat. Taking on the next question, difference in being a software PM versus an offline product PM. Difference, software product, I wouldn't know much about offline product PM except, what do you, can someone from MIT Pune please elaborate what do they mean by offline product? Is it soaps? Is it phones? Or what? Okay. Okay, let's talk about making a phone versus making a website like Facebook. The difference. I would say making a phone is orders of magnitude more complicated than making a website. A website like Facebook, you can just push an update; it'll change. Like if people at Facebook find a bug in the code, they just push a new change, and as soon as you load Facebook again, the bug will be fixed. You cannot do this with an iPhone. You cannot just push an update for the hardware. If the glass is of low quality and it cracks again and again, it is just going to be a horrible experience. There's no fix, as we are seeing in the case of the Samsung Galaxy Notes, which are catching fire left, right, center. It is a much harder problem, and that's why it is also more expensive. They do more rigorous testing. The supply chain is more complicated. The material you have to taking a phone requires you to go and get involved. Source materials from China, get them assembled. Just source materials from all over the world, get them assembled in China, transported to your location, set up physical distribution lines. All of that, it's extremely complicated. I would say that is like 10 times or 100 times more complicated than building a software product. Yeah, that's the complication itself different, and that's one of the things. That's why it's more also tougher to build great products.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. On that,
I think there's one last question. I think
okay.
One last. What website should product managers visit regularly?
Right.
So obvious websites would be, so one is definitely read up in the tech space. You should, I think just for news, you should probably read up TechCrunch. In India there is Your Story, and there's Next Big What. These are just for being aware of news. Then if you want to see what are the latest upcoming products, you should go check out Product Hunt. This is where a lot of people go and post their latest products. This
I
is two good
request
examples.
you to put these websites on chat if you can.
Surely, I'll do it. Product Hunt is one place you can explore. And generally just be aware there are a lot of tech bloggers out there. So one great source for information is Twitter. I would say Twitter, or people's blogs. Just follow people on Twitter or subscribe to their blogs. These people regularly keep posting updates. If you follow some good people in the tech space, you will automatically get updated. Yeah.
So students, you can note it down: producthunt.com, techcrunch.com, techmeme.com.
One second.
All right, so the bloggers you can follow are the techies which you should follow. Mark Anderson on Twitter. So I'm sure there are other techies also which you should follow, like Sir has addressed.
Yeah, quite a few more. You will discover them as you go forward.
Right.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, sir. I don't think so we have any further questions. Also, if students, if you all have any questions later, you can take Sir's Twitter ID and put him a question directly on the Twitter. Follow him as well for getting the updates on product management.
I'm sharing my email. You can just reach out there. Actually, one second. Okay, so my website is dm14.in. You can just go there. There's a contact page. Contact me through Facebook, Twitter, whatever. I'm very open to questions, and I'm happy to answer. Yeah. So hope you guys had a fun session. Yeah, reach out to me for further questions. If I didn't do justice to any of your questions, I'm happy to answer in depth. Would love to see more people get into product management in India and build great products. Yeah, that's it.